London Kingdoms, the unseen hand. London was a circuit board of light and shadow, a high-stakes game where the old guard's rules were being rewritten in real time. Danny the Eagle Harris, Ava the Viper Snake, and Oliver the Oracle Thompson had hacked the system, installing themselves as the new administrators of the city's intricate network of power. But a new, more brilliant player was entering the game, one who didn't want to beat them. He wanted to own the board they played on. The silence in the command center was a living thing, taut and humming with unspoken tension. Danny paced the length of the room, the city's grid a living, breathing map of light spread across the floor-to-ceiling window. It was a perfect, orderly system of their own design, yet it felt fragile. "This quiet is too loud," he said, his voice low. "We've stabilized the system, but I'm picking up a signal. A low-frequency hum that doesn't belong to any of our networks." Across the room, Ava sat sharpening a blade that was more a tool than a weapon. She didn't look up. "It's not a signal, it's a counter-program. Someone is running a parallel operation, testing our firewalls. They're not trying to break in, they're mapping our responses." At his holographic console, Oliver's eyes danced across cascading lines of emerald code. A slow, appreciative grin spread across his face. "And they're good. The financial movements are art, a masterpiece of misdirection, routing funds through digital dead ends and phantom accounts. It's not a theft, it's a performance. I almost want to applaud." A sharp, rhythmic knock cut through the air. Lila, the Phantom Grey, moved like a whisper into the room, her presence so sudden she seemed to materialize from the shadows. She placed a slim data chip on the polished table, her voice a conspiratorial hush. "The maestro's score." She leaned in, her gaze intense. "A list of players on our side who've suddenly started making off-script moves, all funded by the same ghost." Danny slid the chip into a port. Instantly, a list of their own most trusted allies filled the screen, each name annotated with a suspicious 7-figure transaction. A cold knot formed in his stomach. "He's not attacking us," Danny realized, the pieces clicking into place with horrifying clarity. "He's trying to turn our own pieces against us. He's flipping the board." Oliver's fingers flew across his holographic keyboard, a flurry of motion. "The money trail is a labyrinth, but every maze has an exit. It's a challenge. I accept." Ava's gaze was sharp as broken glass. "Lila, your network feels the city's pulse. Find out who this new conductor is before he changes our symphony into a requiem." A spark of excitement, not fear, lit Lila's eyes. "The night loves a good mystery. I'll shake the trees and see what falls out." Then she was gone, a shadow rejoining the darkness from which it was born. Meanwhile, in a sleek, subterranean command center, bathed in the cool blue of 100 monitors, a figure known only as the Architect watched the city's data flow like a river of stars. His face was obscured by a high-tech collar that projected a calm, shifting nebula where his features should be, a mask of cosmic indifference. "Phase 1 is complete," he said, his voice a synthesized, modulated hum that held no human inflection. "The King's Knights are compromised. They are now our assets, whether they know it or not." One of his lieutenants, a woman with cybernetic eyes that glowed with a faint internal light, reported from her own console. "The Council's security is adaptive. They've detected the probes." The Architect's nebula face swirled with amusement. colors of violet and cyan mingling. Of course they have. I wanted them to. Let them chase the ghosts. While they're looking for the threat in their walls, we'll become the walls themselves. Back at their headquarters, Oliver threw his hands up in a sudden, triumphant gesture. Got him! Or her! Or them! The payments all funnel through a master account registered to a defunct corporation. The sole signatory? Victor Kostopoulos. He frowned, the victory fading from his expression. The name hit Danny like a physical blow. His mind raced, sifting through a battlefield of memories. Chris's brother, the ghost from our first war. He locked eyes with Ava, a dawning realization turning his blood to ice. It's too perfect, too theatrical. It's a signature. Ava was already a blur of motion, her phone pressed to her ear as she moved. My sources are calling him the Phantom. He's not just alive. He's been operating in the city's blind spots, building an army of the dispossessed. He's not just after power, he's after a rematch.
The night of the gambit arrived.
Not with a bang, but with a whisper. The city's infrastructure didn't fail. It improved. Traffic flowed with impossible precision. Power grids stabilized to a flawless hum. Communication networks became instantaneous. The architect wasn't attacking their system, he was upgrading it, making the city dependent on his silent, invisible genius. He's not attacking us, Oliver said, marveling at the seamless efficiency on his screens. He's making us obsolete. He's offering the city a better product. Then, the message came through. It wasn't a threat, it was an invitation. A single, glowing icon appeared on every council screen, overriding their own data. A chess piece, a white knight. It was a direct, audacious challenge. He wants to play, Danny said, a slow, dangerous smile spreading across his face. On his board, by his rules. We can't win that game, Ava cautioned, her hand resting on the hilt of her blade. He controls the environment. Then we don't play his game, Danny countered, his mind already racing ahead. We change it. Oliver, can you hijack his broadcast? Not shut it down, but piggyback on it? Oliver's grin returned, wide and feral. Give me 5 minutes and a direct line to the city's central antenna. I can paint our own masterpiece on his canvas. As Oliver worked, Danny addressed the room, his voice filled with a renewed fire. He thinks he's the architect, but we built this city from the rubble. We're not players in his game. We are the game itself. Moments later, the city screens, which had been displaying the architect's efficient, sterile grid, flickered. Danny's face appeared, superimposed over the chess piece, his expression resolute. Victor Kostopoulos, or whatever you call yourself now, Danny began, his voice echoing through the streets, a declaration of war. You offer the city a cage of gilded bars. We offer it a key. You want to play a game of control? We're going to play a game of freedom. At that exact moment, Ava gave the signal. Across London, dormant networks they had cultivated, the black market tech dealers, the underground info brokers, the off-the-grid programmers, all sprang to life. They didn't attack the architect's system. They offered the city an alternative, a decentralized, chaotic, but free network. The people of London, faced with a choice between perfect, sterile control and untamed, vibrant freedom, began to choose. They started pulling the plug on the architect's perfect grid, one by one. In his sleek command center, the architect watched his perfect creation flicker and fail. They're choosing chaos over order, his lieutenant noted, a hint of disbelief in her voice. "No," the architect said, the nebula on his face swirling faster, a storm of purple and gold. "They're choosing their chaos over my order. It's a brilliant move." Suddenly, his main screen was overridden. It was Oliver, but he wasn't gloating. He looked impressed. "Your system is a work of art," Oliver said, "but it has a single point of failure. You." A new channel opened. It was Victor Kostopoulos, his face finally visible. He wasn't a monster. He was a rival, a mirror image of their own ambition. He was smiling. "A worthy opponent, Oracle, but the game isn't over. It's just evolved." He cut the link, but not before revealing his location. It wasn't a fortress. It was a public place, a high-tech gallery in the heart of the city. He was hiding in plain sight. "He's inviting us to a final confrontation," Ava said, her hand instinctively going to her weapon. "No," Danny corrected her, his eyes alight with the thrill of the chase. "He's inviting us to a negotiation. He doesn't want to destroy us. He wants to merge." It did not culminate in a firefight, but in a parley. Danny, Ava, and Oliver entered the space to find Victor standing beside a holographic projection of London, now a chaotic yet brilliant tapestry of light and data woven from the fusion of their competing systems.